how do you think it affects the Jets as you've got now one more team that has a quarterback opening?
Well, I mean, he either is going to be interested in being on the Jets or he isn't, and I'm not sure what the Indianapolis Colts opening will have to do with that. If Deshaun Watson decides he wants, at the end of the day, Deshaun is going to have a lot to say about where he goes because of his no-trade clause. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. The Colts, to me, if I'm a quarterback looking for a place to go and try and win a championship, that feels like about as good an option as you could possibly have in the NFL. You play your home games in a dome. They have an excellent defense. They have an excellent offensive line. They have a young weapon on the outside who's improving, and T.Y. is still pretty good. I think that would be a very attractive option, not only for Deshaun, but for someone like Matt Stafford if he's looking for a place to go to. And then the question that I think will be most interesting, Keyshawn, is Carson Wentz. I would assume that based upon the firing of Doug Peterson and everything else that has happened there, that there is no conceivable chance that the Eagles trade Wentz. But the combination of Wentz, the connection of Wentz to Frank Reich, is one that we put together before they made the big changes in Philadelphia, and it seems at least worth bringing up again today.
Yeah, it could have some merit, obviously, depending on what they're looking to Indianapolis to give up for Carson Wentz. But let me ask you about the New York Jets and the possibility of Deshaun Watson, a lifelong Jet fan that you are. How excited of the possibility that Deshaun Watson could somehow wind up in New York?
Well, how excited can you be? I mean, what is the maximum that you're offering me? Like, if this is on a scale of 1 to 10, I would put it at about 16. Look, when you're a fan of the Jets, these are like the best things that generally happen to us. Like, once the season starts, everything almost always goes to hell in a handbasket. So the best thing that happens to us is that there are rumors we might wind up with Deshaun Watson, and he likes a photo of himself in a Jet uniform on Instagram. That's about the apex of Jet fandom these days. Look, the reality is, as Adam Schefter tweeted over the weekend, there is no team that could offer the Texans more for Deshaun Watson than the Jets can if they choose to. That doesn't mean that Deshaun wants to come here. The picture that he liked on Instagram sort of led us down that path. One thing that we can say every single week going into a game as fans of the Jets, our coach is cooler looking than your coach. There is no cooler looking coach in the entire sport, I think, than Saleh. And look, I mean, I will just take the word of Richard Seymour and everybody else who has played for him and been around him. And I will tell you, too, I trust you guys saw this story. I saw it in the New York Post over the weekend, but I'm sure it was in a lot of places about his life experience. He's a guy whose brother was almost killed in the World Trade Center, and at that time, Robert Saleh had sort of chosen a path in his life in which he was going to be working in desk jobs, much safer path, and decided after his brother's near-death experience that he wanted to go pursue his dream. He wanted to live something that he was passionate about. And so there's something about that that I like. There's something about the fact that he was one who had other options in his life and found his way back to football and now has risen to this extraordinary level. There are just a lot of things about him I like. So is there any way to know with certainty he's going to do a great job? Obviously not. And mostly it will be determined by the players that wind up playing for him. But from what I've seen so far, I couldn't be happier with the choice that they made.
Greeny, your name is no longer Mike Greenberg. Your name is Nick Caserio. How do you save the Texans situation with Deshaun Watson? How would you do it?
Well, I mean, look, it seems to me as though something has happened there, and these are things that I believe will come out, that Deshaun feels is irreparable, or things have happened that are irreparable. They clearly go well beyond bad personnel decisions and trading away DeAndre Hopkins, and I think they even go beyond what he considered to be the slap in the face of suggesting you were going to be looking for his input when you made these big decisions and then not doing so. I think that the problems go deeper than that. That's just what you hear. You guys all know what I'm talking about. We all hear the same things, perhaps from different people. If that is the case, I think that you need to sit down with him if you are a person who doesn't have anything to do with that. I mean, presumably, Nick Caserio showed up a week ago. He has nothing to do with any of that. And just say, Deshaun, what's it going to take? At the end of the day, you and I need to be partners in this thing. This is your franchise. We might as well be called the Houston Watsons at this point because you are overwhelmingly the best and most important thing we have. What is it going to take to make you want to be here? And if ultimately the answer comes back, it is completely impossible, then look, there are worse things you can be than a 4-12 team who has the best trading chip of all time. This will be the biggest trade in NFL history. When you consider who Watson is, what he is, and where he is in his career, there has never been a trade as meaningful as this. So you can completely remake your team in one fell swoop. So as devastating as trading away a great player like Deshaun is, the fact that you have the ability, with all the years left on his contract, to get as much back as you can means you're not in a position of absolutely zero leverage. So my first option would be to say to him, you tell me, Deshaun, what do I do to make you want to stay here? Help me help you. And if ultimately the answer comes back, there is no conceivable way, well, then you have, I guess, until April to figure out a trade, and you should be getting back exactly what I just heard Mike Tannenbaum saying as you were introducing me. 3 number ones and 1 or 2 other really good young players, and you remake your roster on the fly, and you see where you go from there. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.